Good morning again. That cough was not a corona cough by any means. Sorry for that. All right. So the measured move scenario that we talked about a couple of days ago appears to be on course. We'll see if it gets to the target. And what we did was we measured from here to here. There was the correction. And this period of uncertainty was pretty wild, unusual, based on what was going on with the daily charts. What happened coming into the week with the we'll take a look at that on the ETFs. That gap down, and then 3 days certainly looked like it was going lower last week, and big reversal. So here's the continuation path. All right, guys, I'm back. Something happened here. Hold on. Okay, So let's to continue here. So it can keep going up there from this continuation pattern and coming up into the top of the range here. So I changed this to a 180. We were talking yesterday and it went to a higher time frame. I just left it like that. But hey, market just continues to continue higher here. Personally, I'm not chasing anything. Especially as it's coming up to this prior high right here. We'll see what happens on the open, but powerful move. Let's look at the ES. Now there was the continuation pattern. Actually, looks better than the NQs. Let's look if there's anything to really stop it. Certainly looks like it's going to fill that measured move projection there up into this high. Maybe it even gets through it to the 50. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but just look at the pattern here. Wide range bar, topping tail, no follow through. Yesterday's green bar up. And so you got 2 days side by side here and then the continuation. So it certainly looks like it can continue to move higher. We'll see what kind of pullbacks occur here, but obviously showing a lot of strength. One sec, guys. All right. So unless something, breaks some support, which the problem here is the way it's going up, there is no support. Right? So you can see just the 2-bar stall here and the continuation on the 5-minute. So it's a bar by bar trail at this point, unless you go down to a smaller time frame. YM now over 400 points up, and this congestion over here. You see, there really isn't much to stop this today, other than just people just saying, I'm taking money off the table or I'm getting out, and that sometimes that feeds on itself. But you see the way it came down here, there's really nothing to the left of any significance. And this continuation pattern, it's similar to what we have over here. As Dan and I spoke in MT Live yesterday, we talked about W patterns, but said, hey, things set up differently. And this is just a different variation of a continuation pattern on a higher time frame. The smaller, obviously, 1, 2, 3, 4 type of continuation pattern. And this one within a trading range has a more or less a breakdown failure, what you have going on here. I love those bottoming tail bars that break several lows and then come right back again. All right, let's move on. Oh, it's only 10 after, even with the blip in the connection there. The Russell, let's clear this up. The Russell, here, the concept here is the weaker can be the leader on the turn, where it's just been beaten down so much. We covered that it was showing relative strength here. It didn't break down when the others did. And you have it's got that downward sloping kind of thing, but yeah, like a W bottom with a higher low, with really nothing to stop it here. Scrunch up the data here. It's so far away, but again, as we always look to the left, look at this. There's just nothing to stop it. Now, that doesn't mean it cannot or won't stop, but what you do is on a smaller time frame, you'll see if it double tops and makes an M top, or you'll get a wide range bar, signaling the end of the move. So here's the wide range bar igniting the move, and you would look for something like that as this is running up bar by bar, where you get a range expansion. And that doesn't mean the trend will end, but on a short-term basis, historically, we know that it communicates that it's near the end. Yeah, 15-minute is right there, so the bar is bigger here, than this. So yeah, the ranges are expanding. So as you look at different time frames, obviously you get different pictures. Now the markets obviously aren't open yet, but the ticks would be pegging up at plus 1,000, and you trail bar by bar here, and unless it takes out a 5-minute bars low, right? We're looking at a 5-minute. The assumption is that it'll continue to go higher since there's nothing to stop it. But when a new bar forms, you can see this bar still got 2 minutes left to go. So at the end of 2 minutes, if this was a topping tail under the open, obviously that would be a sign of a short-term top. If it moves up and we get a deep retracement into a bar, so bar by bar analysis says take the current bar's message and put it in alignment with the bars that preceded it. And so far, there's nothing here to suggest this is stopping. So we just continue the analysis. Oil, just sideways here, really not doing much of anything, but hey, it's not going down. Bonds dropping as they should. And we talked about that resistance area last week. It was holding up well, then it fell back, and it's coming down to support. So as this market continues higher, it's going to be worthwhile to keep one eye, corner of your eye, to see what bonds are doing, to see if they reverse back up. That's going to be a heads up that the market will stall. And gold, what a pop, right? So the Fed is just pumping more money in as they said they would, and gold is responding as it should. It's coming up to resistance. Always know what's to the left. Don't chase, right? So here's something that as I continue to build my notes for the directional and futures course here, I made a note as to multiple time frames as to when is it okay. I'll just be real short here. When is it okay to buy near a prior high? Well, which historically we would never do. Well, it's okay to do it at the beginning of a move. And right, so right here, right, it's up near a prior high. It's when you get a continuation pattern and it's the beginning of a move that it's okay to buy near a prior high, right? Because typically you would think maybe that would turn into an M top, not in a scenario like this. Right? And this continues to push up toward that measured move projection, right? Nothing stopping it, but momentum, look at the momentum here on the 5-minute, it's beginning to stall, right? It's beginning to stall. You got a narrow range bar, and we're starting to get a red bar here. NQs, similar. Russell, right? Getting a red bar now, first one below its opening price. So as we get closer to the open for the moment, momentum is beginning to stall. And gold, obviously I mentioned already, up. Silver, right, continuing to push higher with a measured move type of setup. And transports, right? Dan is typing in the room that the airlines and the oils and whatever that are up, open positions that he'll cover. So this looks good. So for the moment, it looks like the market is firing on all cylinders to complete that measured move. We'll see if it gets there today or waits until next week. And you see the same in the spiders. So at 277, let's call it 278, we're going to get a gap up close to a whole number of 280. All right. So you want to be careful at the open that this doesn't come right back down. Now, it probably will. There'll be some profit taking and it hits here. So what do? Well, pullbacks into what was resistance should become support. Now, I guess that would be a relatively deep pullback. Let's just see where that is. All right, 274. Not so bad. Not so bad to pull back into here to consider a long. So as you look at the day chart, right? Getting a pullback. What is this on here? A pullback. What I'm saying is a gap up when I say day chart. So I don't know what it should be on. You're going to get a gap up. Well, let's go back to the 15-minute here. A gap up above the base, and it was basing for a couple of days. And so gaps up around here. And if we get a fluid move of red bars down into this area and then a bottoming tail or some kind of reversal, you can go long. Right? SPX. So we don't get this updating. Let me just go back to the spiders here to get a, right, 277. Where is that? Right, 280. So it's hard to imagine that there's going to be premium in the puts. Maybe so. But so they'll open up around here, and you would want to do the same thing on the put side if we get the retracement down into the gap fill, looking to sell a put spread, 0 SPX put spread. I would like down here. Well, you could go below yesterday's low. I think would be fine because it shouldn't break below that. So, that would be highly unusual with this gap and this move to get a breakdown below yesterday's low. Well, that's what I'll look at. Getting closer to that. I mean, you want to go, well, that would be yesterday's low, 26.50. And anyway, little extra room below that, just in case we get some kind of a crazy move. Right? So, and then we can see what happens as the day goes on. If it continues to run up into the projection, can you imagine it gets all the way up here? Well, then the calls will be highly inflated, and we could sell something up above here. So we'll see how that turns out. Anyway, let me turn it over to Dan. He's got open positions. It's getting late. I'm sorry for the blip, but at least it came back.
All right. Good morning, folks. Yeah, with this gap here, you can tell I'm just selling some merchandise into strength. Beautiful move. All right, we'll go through opens real quick, but they're all fine. And we've been loading up. We have, with a weekly options trader, we have 3 airlines and an oil and ACN put spreads. This one expires today. JetBlue next week looks great. Next week. A nice move here. LUV. Save. We're short naked puts. Looks great. And then XOP put spread. Looks great. So 5 for 5 look great there in the weekly. Let's go through a swing real quick. ACM, we're also long stock. Clorox covered call. It's actually lagging today, but we got a covered call. Crocs, we did a half lot yesterday. Look great. CVS, long stock. EOG, short puts. FAS, long the ETF, and we sold half pre-market. KRE, long stock, still holding it. Kind of looks like the IWM. It has room. Big, let's see, that's a W bottom too. It's different than the textbook W, but it's a double bottom with a price void. So that looks good. MGM, we just sold another third pre-market. That looks good. Still a void higher. NUS, we have a half lot. I don't see any volume pre-market. Oki, another oil stock. Looks great. Tilray, covered call, little pot stock yesterday, XOP, covered call. And I got EC in there twice. All right, that's it there. So it's going to be tough here at the morning because of the straight up move. And I'm actually, you know, Kramer was on TV just praising the heck out of Powell. And then I'm shocked that the market took so long to digest things. Usually, I mean, that's what I'm shocked about, that it did, you know, when they do a shock and awe, which is what he's pretty much labeling it as, that's a crazy move. So we can't trade that. That's why I'm selling in the strength here. What do I got down here? Pins, that was from yesterday. Pins still looks higher. All right, EXTR had earnings. I like this. It's not, you know, I don't, do you call it the W bottom? I don't know. Did it come down enough? But big move off the low, beautiful reversal, and a price void. So that looks fantastic. Play is another similar higher low bottoming pattern, similar to, well, RCL, the cruise ships came in deeper. So that is a textbook double bottom, RCL. And I like Norwegian. We'll watch those on a pullback to buy stock and sell puts. I'm talking about the airlines. Jets, I like this. I like this. We're gonna, wow, gave you a beautiful entry here pre-market. IWM, I like this as the catch-up long. But once again, we gotta work our entry. Target, gap fill. IMOS, you're spotty, low volume, you're gone. There's the XTR. M-chip was on our list from yesterday. Actually, relative weakness here, just because it's down in a strong market. SAP is moving, I think, on earnings of some sort, but that's an ADR. Disney, hey, remember yesterday one of you asked me about a put spread? And I said, I think it was right here into the gap fill. I said, yeah, you know, take a tiny position doing the out of the money put spreads. And it had some news about a number of paid subscribers to their streaming. So that's a big bullish gap now. You know, despite the journal having a big article yesterday saying that their debt's downgraded because of the, you know, the parks being closed. And we have this discussion all the time. Do you want to trade the charts or do you want to trade the news? That's a big bullish gap. So I don't care about the news. Hey, Gustav, your JetBlue is flying here, no pun intended. These have been on my list, you all know, for weeks. I put spread, but I want to start getting maybe long these things. Ben, I think, had earnings. Bottoming pattern, we'll keep an eye on it. UPS is on my list. It's sloppier and not as big a price void, but it's a no-brainer, you know, put spread. If we go through our checklist, hey, Debbie. So IYT here, let's keep an eye on this for a put spread. McGraw, if you're not out working the plantation today, perhaps we can do some put spreads together. Maxer, sure. Yeah. Gapping above these two bars. It's gapping right to resistance. So that would be, with the market extended, that would be an ideal 30-minute high trade. Starbucks was in the news. I forget why, but it's just rallied to resistance there. 6, another one of these beat up double bottoms in the leisure field with my patience, but they have upside. NLS 352, big gap. It's kind of a bull flag right here. Look at your flagpole. Here's your 30-degree channel retracement. It's sloppy, but the monthly has room. Loco, another restaurant, 976, but I'm not crazy about the pattern. The beautiful pattern here was this 1, 2, 3. Well, it's not a 1, 2, 3 because this bar is red, but it's still a red bar negated with a price void. So that's actually a very bullish setup right there. Costco was in the news, and Kramer doesn't like Costco. I heard him trashing it for some reason. At first it was one of these stocks of, hey, everybody's going there to buy toilet paper, supplies, etc. And then I don't know, maybe the reality is setting in. I don't know. I'm no fundamentalist. That's Debbie. Jeffrey's gapping up a little bit. Sloppy, we can find better. Living up $2.50. It still has room though, even though it's up $2. Look, it's a visual thing. Now, do you remember some guy asked us on MT Live yesterday? It's like, guys, are you calculating the size of your stops? And I said, it's a visual thing. So put tape over the prices. And if I put my horizontal line and say, look, this stock is gapping up right here. Okay. With a stop under yesterday's low, would you say that gap is excessive based on this price void? I'd say, heck no, it's not excessive. So I like that. Let's put live in there. Kramer praise. Oh, really, Damien? Damien, your drop down, please. Clint, BACs, yeah. But we're doing nothing at I like Zion better. Zion, Clint, has a bigger price void, and it's closer to the base. So yes, I like Zion a lot. We're heavily in banks by a FAS and KRE. But I'll put Zion here. We're doing nothing. If the market keeps going, it's going to do it without